the information superhighway, an online network called Internet.
Public one, not the stolen one.
How dare you?
And it is by far
It's awful.
the buggiest beta
I've been
I have
dealing with
ever.
it for a month.
It's. I don't know if you get the same bugs that I do. There are days when my camera just won't work. Yeah, I hate that.
I get that.
The player,
it's just so slow.
If I'm playing something, it'll display that there's a player on the lock screen, but I can't interact with it. Like it won't, the play pause or whatever, it just won't work.
Yeah, I get that too.
That is, I've been doing the public betas for a long time, and this is by far the buggiest one I've ever used.
Yeah,
Hands
I've
down.
heard that. I'm tempted to downgrade, but also I don't want to go through the hassle of downgrading.
Hashtag hassle.
That's the one. Hey, everybody.
Welcome. We were recording the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about iOS, everybody.
I hit this chord and it made a ding.
It made a pop.
It made a pop.
Made up.
Who needs pop filters?
I do.
Oh,
Oh my god. Have you listened to some of the audio from my latest videos?
I don't watch Nerdsync.
I'm using the microphone that you're letting me borrow, and because I have it so close to my face because it's pretty small. Good job. I don't even know if that was able to be picked up on the.
I don't think it was.
So we'll leave that to the audience's imagination as to what just happened.
Yep.
But it's because I have it so close to my face, I make a lot of and it just pops and it blows it out. So I have to buy a windscreen.
I had an issue. You can tell in the video when I filmed my Power Girl 1 year later video. I had the mic so close to me, or in such a position that, luckily, it didn't really affect any of the takes, but would happen a lot.
Oh,
Like anytime I would exhale, and it was fucking with me with waveforms, because normally I look at the waveform for takes, but then sometimes I would just see like a big spike, but it's just me breathing, and that wasn't okay. This is
the online podcast.
starring
Myself.
and
Yourself.
yes, that's our improv sentence for the day.
Tell us what you came up with.
Yeah, in the comments below.
In the comments. Well, I guess SoundCloud has comments.
YouTube has comments.
Oh, that's right. We post these on YouTube.
That's where I
forget
keep
about
them
'em.
most times.
That's right. I want to just say the dedication and like the fan art for these podcasts has been
fantastic.
Incredible. Somebody did
Let's check some
what was
out.
it? Scott and S Wonder, 3 tables, 8 legs, or 8 legs, 3 tables, or something like that.
That's the one.
I loved that a lot. It was like a horror movie poster.
Let me bring that up.
Yeah, please bring it up. Give some credit to the artist. And then my current Twitter profile picture is somebody who photoshopped me with like a deed to this town, and it's expired. What?
My Twitter is back to the old Twitter.
Oh, let me see.
It's all square again.
Weird.
That's very strange.
I don't know.
I don't like that.
Let me check mine. See if.
I reinstalled iOS. You want to stop, Kat? I reinstalled iOS 11 beta because I wanted to see if the public beta was any better than the one I was on, to see if it was different.
It's not.
No, it's exactly the same. Let's see here. Oh, fucking, where is it? Oh,
Yeah, mine's still round. Just FYI.
I might just need to update it. So, did they not tag? Oh, here it is. It was 5 days ago at the time of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
3 desks, 8 legs. A Scott Nicewander horror story.
I love it.
That's by Lazar Lilick. Longtime fan of at least me.
Heck yeah,
I
and
know.
me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. At the Laser Shell.
And then, God, again, I have no idea. This because this happened a while ago. I have no idea who made this, but somebody made my current profile picture.
Yes,
and
I have that.
Awesome.
It's by Band Tail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bandentail.
Bandentail. I love it.
It's a great picture. of Scott Nicewander.
Awesome.
Saying his catchphrase, his new catchphrase.
And it says, so it's a picture of me holding a deed that says deed to this town belonging to Scott Nicewander. But there's a twist. It's expired. The deed is expired. Do you know what that means, Dylan?
Implying.
I used to own this town.
A Scott Nicewander story.
I love it. This podcast has re-energized my my interest in Big Wolf on Campus to the point where I wanted to see if they had a Big Wolf on Campus wiki, and they do, but it is strikingly bare. So I want to find a way to rewatch the show and fill in the gaps for sure.
That's pretty great. That's grandiose, as some might say.
Yeah, I'm just going to shut down Nerdsync and make that my full-time job.
How are you going to get paid?
Ads. Ads on the wiki.
You don't own the wiki, though.
I'm sure.
You don't get the revenue.
Hold on. Do you think the person who owns it now is would be so protective of it that I couldn't just ask them for it? It's barren. They don't care.
You know, I just don't think that they are around still.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think you're going to get a response.
Yeah.
That would be my concern.
Let's start we've talked about this before, but I think we have doing a Big Wolf on Campus podcast. Heck yeah.
I have zero interest in that.
That's right. We try to workshop names for it. Big Wolf on Podcast or something like that.
Pod.
There's a whole trend of people watching shows that are gone, that have finished, but they're watching it now and making podcasts, like talking about it episode by episode. Have you noticed that trend?
It's because they can't figure out any other ideas.
I think it's that, but it's also there are dozens of podcasts that talk about here's what happened on Flash this week.
Yeah.
But it's all the older shows that have already finished to be well, this was a great show that, wasn't around when podcasts were around. So let's just do an episode by episode thing. There's stuff on Gilmore Girls. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I don't know if there's one on Boy Meets World, but if there's not, I want to jump on that train.
Just do it for everyone.
Just do it for every show. Every show.
Every
there's a popular one now about The West Wing, which is a show that I recently started watching as well. And I was like, do you think there's a West Wing podcast? And not only is there one, it's a very popular one.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What's it called? Give him a shout.
I think it's West Wing Weekly with Hrishikesh Hirway. He's from...
you were badly pronouncing Trisha Hirschberger.
No. I'm absolutely badly pronouncing the name.
Oh, okay.
But it's the guy from Song Exploder, which is another awesome podcast.
Oh.
So,
is it like ours, the worst thing in the world?
No. What are your thoughts about people who comment about how they hate this podcast and they like the Nerdsync podcast better?
Oh, well, that's people who hate this podcast, I totally agree with. But people that say they like the Nerdsync podcast better, I don't really understand that because they're very different things. That's just being that's like walking up to someone in a store who's eating a steak, or I guess in a restaurant who's eating a steak and being like, I like cereal better.
I mean, that's a valid opinion to have, sure. Not super relevant, I feel.
But I get where they're coming from because the Nerdsync podcast ended and then the online podcast started. Mm-hmm. But there was also overlap for a little bit.
I also think people... I'm wondering if there's confusion. I wonder if there's confusion where people think that I substituted the Nerdsync podcast for this.
That's why it confuses me.
Yeah. I think as clarification now that we're 1,000 episodes into this show...
24.
24. Let's start a 24 podcast.
20.
What's Jack Bauer doing these days?
Who knows?
But yeah, for clarification, these take no time for me to make, whereas the Nerdsync podcast took a long time.
Yeah, because that requires research.
It requires research sometimes.
Topics.
It also requires I have to be a more watchful person and make sure to post about it and make sure to make thumbnail designs for it and everything. And it's just
the amount of effort for Scott in this podcast is somehow getting to my apartment and speaking for an hour.
Yep, that's the one.
And that's it. And then my effort is I set up all the equipment. all so much equipment. It takes so long. And
God,
Scott
it takes
just
at least 40 minutes.
Sits there and watches me do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I painstakingly edit each episode.
That's
I
correct.
take so many notes in my book.
You make sure to edit out all the...
Yeah, I edit out every single breath that we take. And then I hand it off to our local menace, who usually a week after it's due will put up the
That's right.
podcast. And then
It's usually when we get bombarded on Twitter with stuff like, where's the newest
the
podcast?
episode?
And then we're just like, I don't know, Dennis, what do you think, man?
so we're not too hard on him, though.
No.
It's fine, Mr. Menace. This is actually
Yeah.
the closest we've recorded to release, I think, ever.
Yeah, because we were both traveling to places.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was lax about it because I could have sworn we had 2 more recorded after 23. Because I remember editing some, putting them up, and then recording some like right after. But I got that backwards. We recorded some and then I edited them right after.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I had to like prepare for RTX. So I was just locked down editing literally all week. And then I had to go to RTX, and now I'm finally back. And you were at VidCon for a little while, so
I sure was for what felt like an entire week, because it was an entire week.
Yep. But now we're all back in business in town.
That's right, we are the town that we used to own. Not anymore. Not any longer. Get those good water sound effects. Gross. I really hate that.
I really don't like doing that and then swallowing the water, but I had nowhere to spit it, so I had to. I took one for the team.
Okay.
I wanted you to know that.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You know what's exciting in my life?
Tell me all your things.
Take a guess.
Okay.
Take a guess.
Of what's exciting in your life is what you said?
Currently, yeah.
Currently. Ooh, well, this is good because this is the most current podcast to the release date.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already talked about how you have 2 kids that you hate.
Yep.
God, I don't know. Did you get a table?
No, I have a table. We're
Okay.
sitting at it.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Is your shirt inside out?
Is my shirt inside out? No,
No, it's good, right?
my shirt's good. The buttons are here.
The seams
buttons
look backwards.
They sure do, don't they?
Yeah.
But they look worse on the inside.
That's true.
So,
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You look good,
Thanks.
but I was just concerned for a
I'm
second.
covered in cat hair.
Well, I can't tell.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe it's just like I'm just used to that because I'm also normally covered
That'll
in cat
do
hair,
it
so.
for sure.
But anyway, yeah, what's exciting in my life? Tell me.
Tell you. I don't know.
I tweeted about it recently.
Oh, do you think I follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, you do.
I mute you.
Oh, okay. How do you respond to my tweets sometimes? Then?
I can't remember.
I was gonna pull up music, but YouTube is updating, so.
Or Alexander.
That's cheating.
Are you making good content? Great content? That's your pinned tweet.
That's my pinned tweet.
Yes.
That was like 4 months ago.
Dude, I don't know, man. You
Boil the facets of my personality down.
there's just a lot of RTX stuff. Was it before
I
or
tweeted
after
like 3
RTX?
times about RTX.
Right, but you also
It was
retweeted.
before. It was like
Tweet-
right before.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did
You
retweet
saw
stuff.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Wasn't that?
Okay.
It's before that.
Horizon stuff.
That's the one.
That's okay. I found it. There's
So-
Horizon Zero Dawn is the update called One Dawn. I'm so clever.
No, it's called Horizon Zero Dawn Patch 1.3.
That's boring.
Well, basically they added a new mode, ultra hard mode.
What?
So they had very easy, normal, which I think that's what I played it on, like a little
Very
bitch.
easy. What
And
is that?
then-
You just sit back and watch the gameplay
You
itself?
just don't get hurt. And then there's hard and very hard, and now there's ultra hard.
Seems like too many scales. Let's just go with playable, unplayable.
No in between.
No in between.
Why would you ever choose unplayable then?
I don't know if you really want a challenge.
But it's unplayable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't-
The challenge of trying to play the game. Beat all odds.
That's right. Well, I mean, we might have talked about this before, but there are games that they never programmed an ending for because they it was so hard. They were just like, no one's ever going to make it to the end. So let's just save memory space by not programming an ending.
Like a kill screen.
It was that's just more like just the. I don't think that was intentional. I think that was more just the nature of the game was just progressive or whatever. But like Smash TV, I think was what it was called, was the one where they were just like, this game is so hard.
I wasn't on that one.
Do what?
I was on the phone.
So we have talked about this before.
Yeah, but you talked to Ricky about it, so I wasn't paying attention.
Gotcha.
I was DJing that episode.
God, we're only 24 episodes in, and I feel like I'm repeating my like 4 anecdotes that I know.
Well, I mean, we've been doing this since October of last year. So
that's true.
People
are starting to see that I'm not a very interesting person. That I just have small
boring
pieces of trivia that I like to recite to everybody. But Horizon, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we have the ultra hard mode, and here's the kicker.
Oh,
New Game Plus.
God, I really wish I knew a sports reference so I could like name a kicker in football.
James Marsden.
Here's a kicker. Actor James Marsden.
No, but there's New Game Plus, which do you know what that means?
That means you keep all the upgrades and all the progress that you made, but you just get to play it again.
Very good. Nice Wander.
I've played Batman.
And I guess they do have that. And then they also added a few other minor things like what if I just started choking right now?
Go on.
Oh, okay. They added 2 new trophies, one for beating New Game Plus and one for beating New Game Plus on Ultra Hard.
Ooh.
So
please tell me you've done it already.
No, I just started today.
Okay.
I mean, I just got back today or last night.
That still would not surprise me.
Oh, no, it's like a 40, 50 hour game depending on.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I beat time somehow. So I started it earlier today and I've been diddling around in it, but that's what's gonna tide me over until Shadow of War. Oh, and they also added some like after you beat New Game Plus, I don't really know how you get them, but like unlockable cosmetics basically.
To use when? You've already beaten New Game Plus.
Well, there's DLC coming.
Okay.
And you could do New Game Plus Plus.
Oh, well.
You just do it again and again and again. But I decided that since I've already kind of beat the game, I want to make it a little more challenging for me on top of Ultra Hard by turning all the UI off. Oh, no.
Your cat is
Wanda.
Dylan's cat just had she had a Mufasa moment where she was clinging onto the side of the windowsill for dear life.
Wanda, are you okay? She's trying to act like it didn't happen.
She's like, "No, dude, I meant to do that."
We'll let her believe. But I'm sorry about all the mic handling noises. It's been a while. I'm trying to.
Yeah, Mike, shut up. God, we have a new guy here. Mike is always handling stuff. Okay, now you're just doing it to be annoying.
Fucking Mike,
calm down, dude.
Jesus.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I'm actually having problems now. There we go.
All right. There we go.
I'm trying.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Mike, you good? You situated? There we go.
That made a strange noise.
It sure did.
Anyway, what was I talking about?
I can't remember.
Horizon. That's a good. Oh, I'm turning all the UI off so that I just have to use because originally something that Horizon does beautifully that more games should incorporate is the HUD is completely customizable. So you can either, for most options, you can have it come on only when you need it to, which is something that most AAA games do nowadays. You can completely turn it off unless you call upon it by touching a certain button, or you can always have it on. So when I first played the game, I always had the compass on, which is basically, it would just tell me the direction I needed to go to quests. And I also had the objective markers on the map on so that I could see it in my peripheral. But I turned all that off.
You're going to turn it all, you turned it all off do you call it up at all if you're just like, I just need to get my bearings, or do you just say, oh, okay? I thought it was going to be like, I'm just going to wander around and hope I land at my destination.
If I mean, it is that to a certain extent, but if I get like frustrated and I'm totally lost, then I'll quickly open the map and see where I am.
You're a quitter.
But yep. But for most of it, like I'm playing through the first zone right now, and I just remembered certain areas because the game is really well designed, the world. So there's one side mission. I think it is the first side quest where you have to go up to a mountain and find Odd Grata and help her. And I remembered where that was, so I just looked around and found the mountain and then went up there. And then it told me to go to a very specific like outlook peak. And it started raining, so I lost track of where it was, but I just killed some boys, and then it stopped raining, and then I went up.
Well, there you go.
And it's good. I highly recommend, for the 40th time, playing Horizon. The DLC comes out soon. So.
I get it. You want to have sex with Horizon. Whoever Horizon is in the game. Which one's Horizon?
It's not a person.
No?
No.
Well, agree to disagree, I guess.
You never played it.
Right.
I'm looking up the date for the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna go see the Emoji Movie?
Oh, hell yeah.
How soon? Opening night?
Of course. I've already bought my tickets.
No, you haven't.
Multiple
tickets. Haven't gone on
tickets.
sale yet. It's July 10th.
How have they not gone on sale yet?
Because it's like 4 weeks out.
Sometimes they go on sale.
I guess I'll Google that too.
Spider-Man happened. I got tickets for that.
I got my tickets the like day before.
Oh, I was seeing it with somebody, so we got our tickets to make sure we could sit next to each other.
Oh, wait, who?
You remember the guy? I don't know if his name's Javier, but I don't know if you would know him as Javier. So I just wanted to say that I knew his name, so that if he was listening, I don't refer to you as the guy.
The guy.
I see him a lot at movies at the Alamo Draft House. He's just like a fan and a cool dude that lives around here, and so occasionally more often than not, we just happen to run into each other at the same showing. Yeah. Sometimes we accidentally sit next to each other. Yeah. And then this time we wanted to just plan it out, so we planned sit next to each other to watch Spider-Man: Homecoming. What is that face for?
I see an article that says PS5 release date, and I'm like, it's just wrong. It's probably not true. I don't want to get into that right now. It's from a day ago. So part of me is like, did I miss something huge?
Yikes.
Anyway.
Oh,
as loud as possible.
At the Alamo Draft House where I went and saw Spider-Man: Homecoming.
With the guy?
With the guy. Whoever his name is.
Some weirdo.
There was, the Alamo always does some really cool stuff. There was a bunch of cosplayers there. Mm-hmm. And it was the first person I've seen in person. I've seen a bunch of pictures online, of course, dozens and hundreds of people. But it's the first person I've seen in front of me cosplaying as Kamala Khan, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. To a Spider-Man showing?
She's modern day Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
she's modern day Spider-Man.
But there's so many other characters.
There was a Silk there.
That doesn't.
There was a Spider. There were a couple Spider-Gwens there.
Of course. Was it all just morph suits that you buy for $45 on the internet?
Yep. Cool. There. There were a couple different Spider-Mans. There was a really cool Green Goblin, to the fact that it had like the classic with like the metal scales and everything, and it was actually like rattling around metal kind of scales, and it was so cool.
Did they sit like just normal people and watch the movies and
and you could hear them rattling every now and again? It was great. It was amazing.
I gotta say, on the Alamo Draft House. Mm-hmm. It's overrated.
You think Alma's overrated?
Highly overrated.
I don't know. I guess in my opinion, I don't rate it that highly to begin with to say that it's overrated. Overrated.
Well, yeah, right.
I just like it, and I go there fine. I usually go there for opening nights simply because they have some cool food.
I've just before I ever went, because I couldn't go because it's 18 plus.
Oh right. So that's the real reason.
Well, no. Before I ever went, people were like Drake and just people online that visit Texas and go to the draft house to watch movies. Mm-hmm. Clearly, would be like, oh, it's the best movie theater ever. You'll never get any other movie theater experience like it. And I went for the first time, and I was like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the food's okay.
I like the food a lot.
I guess it being 18 plus is cool, but like, I've never really had a problem with kids in movie theaters before.
It was
So
to me my favorite part is the very strict, like, no talking, no showing up late
I've
sort of
also
thing.
not had problems with that in the past.
I absolutely have.
Okay.
Speaking of Spider-Man, when The Amazing Spider-Man came out, that was like one of my worst movie-going experiences. Somebody took a phone call during the movie
What the fuck?
and was like, if I just talk real low, no one will hear me.
Shut up.
We heard you, buddy.
Jesus Christ.
And there were kids also. It's same thing. There were kids running up and down the aisle.
Yeah.
Because, Spider-Man, whoa, cool. So that sort of thing, I am totally happy spending. That was also, that theater was a $3 current movie theater. So
Yeah.
like that, it's not like one of those like dollar theaters where you wait a couple months. It was like brand new movies for $3. So of course, all the families were bringing their
Right.
obnoxious children because it's like, this is
Right.
the way that we can get all of us in for cheap and everything.
For like the price of one ticket normally.
And I'm like, you know what? I will gladly spend extra money to make it my movie experience way better. I also just didn't like it, that particular theater, because there was no middle. It was just two separate aisles. So you
don't
could
like
never
that.
sit in the middle. I hated that.
Yeah, I'm just because I've gone to so many. I think the allure of the Alamo to most people, especially like, I don't know, to me, if it's your first dine-in theater and you have had a lot of experience with like disruptive people in theaters before, then yeah, sure, it's incredible. But for me, I've pretty much only gone to, at least by myself going to movies, I've only ever gone to dine-in theaters because they're everywhere in Dallas.
Right.
And I have barely ever had problems. Like, even like the biggest problems I've had weren't even with kids. Like, I sat right next to a family when I saw Spider-Man, and I didn't have a problem with the kid at all. It was the mom who left her phone on and had like flash notifications turned on.
You know what's the worst for me though is I have no problem like at something at the Alamo where you just write, hey, somebody's talking and you put it on a card, and then that, I think that's great. But when it's someone that I'm with who's doing the talking, there's a really big part of me that wants to be like, dude, just shut up. Everyone hates you right now. I was with Amazing Spider-Man 2. I was with a friend of mine who...
Call him out right now.
Brett. He was really cool, though. He was one of like the first people who, while I was doing Nerdsync stuff, was like super understanding of like, he kind of grasped the whole idea of doing nerdy YouTube stuff, and he was like, yeah,
Fuck
that
you,
makes sense.
Brett.
But yeah, Brett stopped talking during movies. We were sitting next to each other, and like he would make comments about everything, and I was like, I know that you're just like doing you want to be funny, you want to be whatever, but like, we are watching a movie right now in a room full of other people.
That's why I watch movies by myself.
Yeah.
I don't want that risk.
I hate it. And so, I mean, if I was at something like the Alamo, where people were more so expecting just like quiet, like silence from the theater, and somebody next to me was talking, I would just be the most uncomfortable person, because internally I'd be like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I've also been thrown out of a theater before because the group I was with was making too much noise.
I was going to bring that up too, because like if you're with someone at the Alamo, they're probably going to throw both of you out just because you're a group that's being loud.
Yeah.
So
it was Sweeney Todd, not Spider-Man. Sweeney Todd,
Tragic.
Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I was with my sister and her friends, and they had already seen it, but I had never watched it, and I really wanted to, because I don't know, I love musicals, and I like it seemed really fun. So bleak but fun, and it was the last day in theaters it was showing. So we got there, and because they had already seen it before, they were just goofing off. They were like, throwing popcorn at the screen and making all sorts of, and I'm just like, guys, there are other people here. Yeah. And I haven't seen this movie. So if we're thrown out, it's not like, oh, well, we've already seen it. I haven't. But of course we were thrown out.
That's just That's just poor manners.
Mm-hmm.
I would movie theaters.
High school girls, get out of here.
Movie theater executives, listen up.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay a good chunk of money to see a movie, like either by myself
Mm-hmm.
or just with a small group of like 10 people.
Okay, so
Instead of, like, a
if
whole
you're willing to
theater.
pay a good chunk of money, buy all the tickets for that showing.
Not that much money.
Okay.
Say like $25-$50 maybe for like a new
Now, if it
Marvel
was a
movie.
$3 theater, you could probably buy up all the tickets.
Sure.
But yeah,
I mean, you could also
you
you could
split
just,
it between people.
that and certain theaters can do like
Yeah.
reserved special screenings.
Did you see the thing? The guy when The Force Awakens was coming out, there was a guy who bought all of the tickets to a showing just so he could have
Good.
it all to himself.
That's awesome.
That is
I
so
wouldn't want
much
that,
money.
though. See, for yeah, I guess I'm countering my own want now.
Yeah.
Because there are certain times where I'll go into a movie and have like the best theater where everyone is just like getting all the references and laughing really hard at the jokes, and it just makes the experience that much better. But then, like, on the other hand, I have experiences where it's not like bad, but it's just so weirdly lukewarm, where I'll go see slight spoilers for Spider-Man Homecoming here.
We're so current.
But I'll go see a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming. It again, very small. It's just like a character.
Turn it off
detail.
now. Never listen to this podcast again.
I'll go see a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming, and Donald Glover's character will show up and be like, my name's Aaron Davis. I have a nephew who lives in Brooklyn, and I'm the only one who goes, woo! No, I didn't actually do that. I was just like,
I was going to
"Yes."
say, you would be the
No,
person I
yeah.
hate.
Just to myself, I was like, yeah, and I smiled really loudly, and no one else was like, everyone else was just like, huh. But I've had other experiences where something small like that would happen, and everyone's like, yeah! Like fucking I forget which, it wasn't even for Star Wars, but I went to see a different movie, and I was with the best theater imaginable, because there was just trailers going through, and somebody during one of the trailers, which don't do this, it was funny in the moment, but don't do this, he was just like, put on the Star Wars trailer! And a couple trailers go by, and you see the Lucasfilm logo and like nothing else, and everyone's like, yeah! Just the whole theater erupted. It wasn't even the movie we were there to see.
No, I don't know if this was true or this is just some internet rumor, but there was a thing going around when it might have been Dark Knight Rises, where people would buy tickets to movies that were showing the Dark Knight Rises trailer
Yeah.
just to watch it in theaters, and they would leave. They wouldn't even watch the movie.
I had that experience a couple times where I was just like, man, I really hope they show such and such trailer. I don't give a shit about this movie.
Yeah.
I just want the trailer. Trailer's
Heck
the
yeah.
best part sometimes.
They showed a Justice League trailer before our Homecoming for me, and it was I felt like it was slightly different. It was like a different.
I don't think I saw the Justice League one.
It was because I watched the Justice League trailer online a lot because I was making my Aquaman edit of it, but this seemed like it was just slightly different. Like they added a couple other instances, like 4 theaters or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, it was about 90% the same, but there was like an extra little 10%. I was like, here's some extra fun stuff for you. But I just remember going, man, I've seen this trailer a bunch online, but now I'm even more excited. I mean, especially in the context of seeing Wonder Woman and being like, now I feel like I could totally get behind this movie for sure.
I can't remember what trailers we saw, or I saw.
I would imagine you saw Black Panther.
Yes, there was, and it was the first time I had seen the Black Panther trailer, which was cool.
That was cool too.
Shit, what else was there? Other upcoming superhero movies.
I'm surprised I didn't see the Last Jedi.
Oh yeah.
But I guess there's not really a ton of new news around that one.
We just have a teaser still, right?
They still got the teaser. I don't know. There wasn't. Yeah, I don't remember seeing a whole bunch of stuff.
I was too busy.
I didn't even see. There wasn't even a
macking
Thor
on my
thing.
pennies.
Yeah,
I got my coconut chicken pennies.
they had at the Alamo because they do themed food.
Yeah, that is something that I really like about.
That's
the
what
Alamo.
I really enjoy that. And they had what was it called? It was the food that he and Aunt May were eating in the restaurant. It was a Thai restaurant.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
It was that fun word food. And they had that, and I was like, larb. That's what it was. And I was like, I don't know what larb is, but it's on the menu. So, and it sounds real good, so I'm going to buy it. And then that whole thing pops up in the movie. Whoa. Well, they had that and a churro, because there's a line where he's like, an old lady gave me a churro. And that was the name of the churro food. They were just like, an old lady gave me a churro.
Nice.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff with the Alamo, I enjoy.
Spoilers in the menu.
Yeah, sorry. Now you know that there's larb and churros in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Can I say something?
You've been saying stuff.
Marissa Tomei is incredibly attractive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I didn't, because I know that like the big joke when she was cast as Aunt May was like, Aunt May can't be hot. Fuck this. Mm-hmm. And in Civil War, I was like, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then this movie comes out, and I'm like, holy shit!
Like, now hold the phone.
I'm
now.
on board. I heard rumors or just stuff online. I guess it's not really rumors, but they tried, her wardrobe specifically was trying to age her up a little bit.
Yeah.
And if that's true,
they failed.
They totally failed.
She
just looks way
great.
better now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good job,
100%.
Costume designers and Marissa Tomei for looking incredible at 52.
Yeah. Is that how old she is?
She's fucking 52.
No.
Yeah.
She's like 30.
No.
Get out of here.
It's wild.
Oh, man.
Anyway. That's our Spider-Man Homecoming talk.
That's right. That's as much as we'll get into.
I want to bring up something.
Yeah.
That just because... So I was at RTX, and I was there with Benny the Comic Historian and Rob, no channel.
That's right.
Comics Explained. And they had a panel with some others that was talking about the future of comic book movies. Mm. And I know we don't talk about comic books on this podcast.
No, we do not.
But something they brought up was the superhero bubble and whether or not it's going to pop in 2021. Mm-hmm. And... I
Why 2021 specifically?
It's after Phase 3's done.
Okay.
So everybody's like, well, pack it up. Marvel's got no plans.
I'm just wondering if... I don't think the culture is going to be that aware of that. No.
But that's like... the general idea is just like this. It's just devil's advocate question. Because obviously it's not going to break. But the bigger question is, will... because of the oversaturation of it...
You're right. Mike, calm down.
But because of the oversaturation of superhero movies, after Infinity War and once this big blowout happens of the last two Avengers movies, or not the last, but like the next two Avengers movies, will the like general populace lose interest? And the accepted answer by people like us is no, clearly not. The movies make way too much money. We're always going to be interested in them.
Sure.
Because it's our lives. But I thought that was an interesting question.
Yes.
And my like definitive answer on it is the Western genre was around for like something like 80 years and barely ever waned interest until it finally just done.
Yes.
And then now we have the superhero genre, which has only been around in full stride since 2008, really, with Batman and Iron Man. So I don't see it going anywhere.
I think so. The Western is the thing that's typically brought up a lot. Is like, it's gonna go the way of the Western or whatever. The problem with that is you could argue that the Western never really went away. It just changed.
Yeah, I agree.
It's you could look at. I guess a classic example would be something like The Walking Dead, where that is a modern day Western sort of thing. You look at this very similar tropes. It is people who are almost reluctantly forced into a scenario, very much like a reluctant sheriff in old Western movies, where they have to tame the wilderness. They have to, fight savage enemies, which were back in the day were typically Native Americans in Westerns, and now, that's the Westerns were, of course, incredibly racist. And then, of course, you substitute that for zombies nowadays. So I think, I think superhero movies would change and adapt.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we're already seeing that, like, huge, like, punch in that argument of superheroes going the way of the Western is Logan.
Yeah.
because it's a big change in the format, and it's a Western.
And it's Western.
So it's like, and I do think that going forward, and Homecoming is also a very good example of this, where it is Marvel formulaic, but it's different, and it's regardless of what you think about it, because I know you didn't love an amazing movie like I did.
There are so many people who think that I hate the movie.
No, I know. I know your very finessed opinion on movies, and how most people are like, Scott hates everything.
God, I liked it a lot, but it's whatever. You continue with your point.
But I'm just like, regardless of that, it is a very different movie than the other Spider-Man movies, and like, say, like, even take Doctor Strange, which I love, but Doctor Strange for me is like a very clear example of this is Marvel formula. Same thing with like the Thor movies, or probably really the first Captain America as well. But then you have like Homecoming, where, again, not really going into spoilers here, but it's different. The comedy is somewhat different. The way that they handled the villain was pretty different.
That was my favorite part,
Yeah.
I think, of the movie, is the way they handled the villain. It was one of the very few sympathetic Marvel villains. Not even sympathetic, but just interesting.
Interesting, yeah, exactly. And that for Marvel, that's saying
that's a
big
lot. Leap forward.
Exactly.
So for sure.
So and even Deadpool is a big big proponent of that.
Deadpool
of things
was a
changing.
big I would say to a lesser extent, but still headed in the right direction. I think Wonder Woman was a really good. It didn't super feel like a superhero movie to me.
Yeah, and I think that's where the superhero bubble is not going to pop. It's just like you were saying, it's going to change into something else. It's going to go. We're going to have, instead of, and this is where I think that a lot of comic book superhero movies have been for a while, is we're not going to have superhero movies anymore. We're going to have movies starring superheroes.
Yeah.
Which they might have the similar tropes of superhero movies, but they will be like Logan, where it's a Western featuring Wolverine, or like, I think Homecoming was pitched as more so a comedy than anything else, which I didn't super see in the movie.
Yeah,
it's not fully a comedy. Like Ant-Man is like a comedy heist as opposed to superhero.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man was kind of also pitched more as like a coming of age kind of a tale.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I will say when we're like, genres are so difficult to discuss because there's a lot of blurred edges to to everything. You could argue that some movies are technically superhero movies because they feature they feature a person who has powers or abilities that normal people wouldn't have, and maybe they even wear a costume or outfit in some capacity.
And I think that's where we're gonna head, where the lines are gonna get blurrier, and we're just gonna. Like, people can still point and say, like, Marvel and DC still making superhero movies, but at the end of the day, they're still different. They're going to be different going forward. And I don't think the bubble's ever going to pop.
Nah.
People who are saying that are just trying to get, like, media attention, like, being like, oh, these things you like are superhero movies.
I will say, as one piece of like affirmation on that thought is, I'll personally say, I am getting very tired of the Marvel formula.
Yeah.
It's effective and it's safe, and that's fine. I get that they want to make money. That's their whole existence is to make money.
Yeah, safe is the
big thing, right? Safe is it feels that way, and I wish that they could. I wish Marvel took some more risks.
And I think they are. It seems like with like Ragnarok is a good example of that. You look at the trailers for that. That is so different. The director they have for that, he directs crazy shit, which is not Marvel formulaic at all. Like
I'll say, like Guardians doesn't feel super. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies don't feel very super. In fact, I would even argue that I wouldn't even consider those to be superhero movies. Yeah, they're just sci-fi movies.
Yeah, they're very like space opera, sci-fi. Character movies, which like Guardians 2 is a very good example to me of Marvel changing and breaking formula as well, because that was something I talked about in my review a lot. Is it didn't, like, nothing happened formula plot wise until like an hour and a half into the movie, and that was great. And it was weird because going into a Marvel movie, I fully expected first 30 minutes to like be introduced to the villain and have a game plan and know where the movie's gonna go, but I didn't. It was just kind of enjoying this movie, which is what we need.
That's right.
Give us stuff like that.
Come on.
Comic also,
books. Yeah.
Marvel, have faith all the way through Act 3. Don't turn into a superhero movie in Act 3.
Yeah.
Like you always do.
Always do that.
Finish strong. Watch Logan. Learn.
Yeah. God, I really want to watch the noir version of Logan. I was joking around with someone. I was like, if I can't get my hands on the noir version, then I'll just watch the regular version and turn the saturation on my TV down.
Perfect.
Which is not at all the same.
No.
But
what is the noir? I haven't heard of that.
It's they took Logan and they made it black and white.
Okay.
But they
who's they?
Just like the people, the Marvel.
Behind. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a fan thing. Or not.
It was an official thing. They actually showed it in theaters, like for just a couple select screenings or something like that. And I missed it, but I think they're releasing it as like a special feature on a Blu-ray or something like that. It might even be its own standalone thing. Who knows? But I really want to watch it, and it's because again, it's not the same as just turning your saturation down. It's they went in and redid all the contrasting and to make it so that it would look and act like an old kind of black and white film, and use lighting to draw your attention to very specific things and whatever. And so it's cool, and I hope it's good, and I really want to watch it.
Somebody send it to Scott.
Yes, please. I have a P.O. box. Link in the description.
Link to the P.O. box in the description.
Link to the P.O. box in the description.
Yep. It just teleports you to the
That's
P.O.
right.
box.
I have a series of pneumatic tubes that you can just send it right here. But yeah. It's good.
Elongated Fs don't sound great in this microphone.
No?
Perfect. Well, unless you have any, we could probably... we're going to try and record a couple right now.
Yeah.
So
let's wrap this one up.
Probably wrap this boy up.
All right.
Don't break the fourth wall, though, like Dead.
Vereen.
Dead Vereen. That's the cousin to Wolverine. We never named this one.
Oh, did we not?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Let's just call it Mike with a lot of eyes.
Yeah, Dennis, you decide how many eyes.
Yeah.
But if you get it wrong, you're fired.
There is a correct answer.
Yeah, there is. So you better...
Good luck.
Exactly. I don't really know how to end these anymore. I don't have a book.
Oh, that's right.
I guess we have Twitters.
Twitter. Follow us on Twitter @AnOnlinePodcast. You can follow me on Twitter @ScottNicewander, spelled with letters.
Where can they follow me?
You can follow Dylan at...
You don't know it, do you?
I wanted to do... Well, I know your real one. I wanted to do a joke one, but I couldn't
right.
come
I forgot
up
I
with
do
one.
that. Barack Hussein Obama.
You've already used...
Probably too long.
All right.
I do a lot of presidents.
You sure
I do a lot
do.
of presidential Twitters. Maybe
Follow him at President Buchanan.
I think my subconscious wants to run for president someday.
Potentially.
That's me.
Well,
President
you're only 19, but your mind is older.
Not yet.
You're 18, I know.
1 month.
I know, but I didn't want to.
I've got Hamilton references lined up for the next 2 years on my birthday. I'm excited.
But all 19 references?
No, there's 19 and 20.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I thought
for
you were
the next
saying...
2 years.
I gotcha. I thought you were saying you had... Never mind. Doesn't matter.
It's unimportant.
But there are 19 references because Philip is the same.
Philip. Thank you for being square.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
Oh, I wish.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For any of our viewers who have access to internet, we invite your comments.